And we are back after what was another phenomenal night for English football. The Lionesses winning 4-0 in the semi-final of the European Championships, meaning that for back-to-back years, the men and the women have both got through to the European Championship final at Wembley. An unbelievable achievement for English football and the FA, proving that investing in women's football is now starting to pay off. And you could see it in the reaction of the girls on the pitch and the fans in the crowd. Inspiring a generation, as the BBC love to say. And honestly, I really think they have. I think they should be so proud of everything they've accomplished so far. And fingers crossed that they go that one step further than the men did last year and do win the trophy. But let's not get it twisted. I don't think that 4-0 is a very, I don't want to say fair result, but it does flatter England slightly. I mean, Sweden definitely were the better team in the first half. Mary Ertz making a phenomenal save just 30 seconds into the match. Then Sweden hitting the crossbar. They really did dominate the midfield in the first half as well. I mean, they were a lot bigger than the English midfield, but thankfully in the second half, the amazing Kira Walsh was able to start wrestling back that midfield. And honestly, if Pep Guardiola sends Calvin Phillips to go train with her, I don't think that would be necessarily a bad thing, because if Calvin Phillips can be half the player Kira Walsh is, England will have a good midfielder in the men's game as well as the women's. But yeah, I'd love to know what the Sweden fans thought about that. I know we've had some Swedish fans in the comments over the last week or so, and trust me, I really do appreciate your support, and I'd love to know your opinions of what happened last night, in particularly about the Swedish goalkeeper. I know if it was Mary Earps that let in Russo's back heel and Kirby's chip, if it was David De Gea, if it was Jordan Pickford, I certainly wouldn't be very happy sitting here this morning. Obviously, that was the third and the fourth goal. England were already winning 2-0 at that point, but Sweden were really knocking on the door at 2-0. And when that back heel went in, it just also sort of fell apart. And then obviously Frank Kirby with a glorious chip that maybe the goalkeeper should have saved. It's always hard to tell on chips, because how much more could the goalkeeper have got on it? But while we're talking about Frank Kirby, I have to give her a special mention, because genuine fears her career was over in February when she had her medical issue, and she didn't even start another football game until the first group game of this tournament. She started every game since. She's got better and better every single game, and proving last night why, in my opinion, she is England's best player. She's another level above, in my opinion. She just has that level of vision and awareness that some of the other players can't even see at times, and that was evident in the Spain game. But she got even more involved last night, was heavily involved in pretty much everything that happened. She created the corner for the second, she assisted the third, and then obviously scored the fourth. She was absolutely fantastic last night, Frank Kirby. And hopefully she can be even better in the final, and I think she is going to need to be to do so. But yeah, like I said, an absolutely unbelievable night for women's football. Let's look at what that has done for the series as a whole, right here and right now. So I obviously went for 2-1. I thought it was going to be a little bit more cagey than it was, certainly in the second half. I mean, the first half, it did look like Sweden might go on and win it. And like I said, at 2-0, I think if Sweden would have pulled it back to 2-1, they probably could have gone and got the equaliser as well. But all in all, it was a 4-0 win for England, meaning that I have scored now 2 points, putting the tournament score up to 35. And before I move on, I just have to also say one more thing about Sarina Wiegman. I think she has been fantastic as the England manager. I questioned whether or not she would change the team. She didn't, and the reason she didn't is because she has full belief, but also understanding in the players that she's got available to her. She knows what to do at the right times, and what really enthused me the most is that the first thing she said after full time in her interview was that she was disappointed we didn't control the first half. And that is the sign of a good manager. Someone that, after winning 4-0 in a major semi-final, is identifying exactly what has to be improved if we're going to win the next game. And I've spoken a lot about substitutions on this channel in regards to a certain England manager. And what Sarina Wiegman does is she understands the capability of every single one of the players she's got in her squad. And she knows who to take off and when to take them off and who to bring on to offer something different. Yes, it's like-for-like changes in the same position, but each player that comes on offers something completely different to the person that takes off. And she understands which player is needed to do that. It's not like, oh, Jack Grealish is having a bad game, Phil Foden go on and do the exact same job and hope it works out slightly differently with this player, Gareth. But, yeah, all in all, just an absolutely phenomenal night for English football. And let's look ahead to who they are going to be facing in Sunday's final as we go into tonight's game, which is Germany against France. And honestly, I think this is the hardest prediction I've probably had to make of the whole tournament. And don't get me wrong, that's a great thing. It says a lot about the state of women's football that in the semi-final of a major tournament, you really can't tell who's going to win the game. It would be a bit concerning if you could just go, oh yeah, France will win this easy. But the way I see this game is that France have better players. They obviously are the Champions League winners with most of that Lyon team. But Germany are a better team. They're a much better unit. I feel like they've got a lot more chemistry than the French team. And because of that, it is so hard to split them. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to go for 2-2 in 90 minutes. And then it just comes down to who I think is going to win in extra time. Or like I said, the way I do knockout football is if you do think it's going to be a draw, you just say what team you think will win out. And my gut instinct this morning is just telling me that Germany take it. And I think they've just impressed me that little bit more. Like I said, they're a much more hard-working team. Not to say they haven't got a lot of world-class players as well. They have outclassed teams as well as outrun them at times in this tournament. So I just think they're going to edge this one. Could be in 90 minutes, could be in extra time, could even be on penalties. But I just think Germany win this one. As an England fan, I want France to win this. I think England's frailties come when they're put under pressure, and that is Germany's speciality. So I think England would stand a much better chance at winning if they were up against France. So for me, it's come on France, but I do think Germany take it tonight. And that will be it. Please let me know down in the comments. Firstly, what you think about last night. Secondly, what you think is going to happen tonight. And once you've done all of that, if you are new around here, please do consider subscribing. And if you like the content, you like the series, please do like and share and ring the bell. And I will be back on Friday morning with an early prediction for the Community Shield as I start looking ahead for the brand new men's football season. Thank you very much for watching.